You've only seen part of it today. You'll see the whole thing by going to this URL here and signing up, and then within 30 days, that'll allow you to see the whole thing in its entirety, to see if what I talked to you about today actually matches what's on the inside. And then you can make a fully informed decision. And if you like it, keep it. And if you don't, I'll give you your money back. No big deal. And that's one of the ways that you can put risk into perspective. Now, let's say you're selling stuff that doesn't have a guarantee. Then you say, listen, I only like to work with people who are fully committed. So if you're not in a state right now to be completely committed on this thing, it's not for you. But if you say, I know this is the thing right now, by getting you in a state of mind that says, yes, we're going to move forward with this, I can give you anything and everything at my disposal once I know you're fully committed in a way I couldn't any other way. And that's like a shorthand version of how we would handle guarantee in our offer and our pitch section. Make sense? Cool. And then lastly, we got to talk about the objections. Now, there's a lot of ninja ways of handling this, but I'll give you the simplest one so you can use this ASAP on your next webinar or any type of selling that you're doing. We don't handle objections, by the way. We destroy them because they're so insidious. So when we make the transition from the risk section to the objection destruction section, it looks like this. So this is how you can do this on your webinars. You say, as we finish out our webinar today, you might find yourself sitting in the maybe category. Maybe this is right for you. Maybe there's something here. Maybe. Usually when I encounter these maybes, it's a sign that there's something get in the way of you making that yes decision. And if I had to guess, it comes down to one of the following reasons. This is the simplest way any one of you could bring this up. And you have to if you really want to make some serious money. And then this is how you deal with the objection. You validate it, you reframe it, you shatter it, and then you re-engage. It's a formula like everything else. So you could say, hey, one of the reasons that you're not signing up yet for Genius Webinars is you're saying to yourself, Jason, I have so much else going on right now. How can I, on top of all of that, also try and learn to do webinars? Step number one, we validate it. I say it's true that there are more opportunities out there than ever before. And then I could go in further depth on that, and I could expand on that, right? I could say it's true there are more opportunities out there than ever before. The real question is, how do you know which one of these to focus on and which one of these not to focus on? And then I would validate, after I validate, I'd reframe it. I said, but isn't it also true that we all have the same 24 hours in the day and the same 7 days in a week and the same 52 weeks in a year? Isn't it more accurate to say that it's not so much how much time you have, it's what you do with the time you have? And then we shatter that objection like this. I can say, in your mind, I would like for you to make a list of all the different stuff you do right now actively in your business day to day to achieve your financial goals. Now, when you make this list in your mind, I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to say from start to finish, from most important to least effective, what's the thing at the bottom that doesn't serve me right now? So when you think about what you actively do on a day-to-day basis, what you spend your time on to grow your bottom line, I want you to find that thing that you're spending time on right now that's not serving you. Now, I want you to mentally cross that thing off and in its place write, do webinars. Congratulations. I have now given you time for you to make it go with this. I haven't asked for time. I've literally freed up time because I'm giving you something more powerful to focus on. And then I re-engage. I say, my point, time is what you make it, and you and I know that this is going to be time well spent when you sign up at URL, whatever, right? And you do this for every single objection. You validate it. You say, yes, it's absolutely true that, so you agree with them. And then you say, but if you think about it like this, so you change it to something else. And then once you change it to something else, you could say, this is why this is not an issue. Or you could say, because of this, this is why you should do this. And then you re-engage them. You say, okay, now it's ready for you to move forward now that you understand this, so you know what you need to do. You need to go over here and get started right away. Now, question to you, when that objection technique worked for almost any offer, you absolutely bet it would. It's less about what you're selling, and it's more about how you're presenting what you're selling. And that includes what would stop somebody from saying yes who should say yes. If somebody was poisoned and you had the antidote, and you could sell it to them if you presented it correctly, isn't it worth focusing on how do I understand and help them understand why they should take this antidote? That's how I think about it. So when I'm presenting an opportunity from somebody who I know needs it, they know they need it, but they're letting stupid little things get in their way because it's easy to do nothing, this is how we handle it. And then, of course, on top of that, we sprinkle scarcity. Every step of the way, offer, price, bonus, guarantee, objections. There's only 3 ways to use scarcity explicitly. There's a lot of ways to use it implicitly. But explicitly, it looks like this. Either increase the price and or decrease the value and or limit the availability. Price increase is something like this. Like I say, for Genius Webinar, the inaugural launch, since it's the first time we're ever doing this, I'm going to reward you as being an early adopter to our Genius Webinar program. See, in the future, when this is offered, it will be for a minimum of $9,995. For you today, if you sign up before our spots fill up, you can get started at just, and then I reveal a lower price. So this is scarcity, because if you wait, you pay more, substantially more. If you get started right away, you pay the least it'll ever be offered at. And that's very powerful from a motivational standpoint to get somebody to say yes to something that they should say yes to. You can also do this on top of it or beside it. You can decrease the value. I could say something like, bonus number 2 of Genius Webinars is professional high-def recordings. In the future, we plan to make this an optional upsell for an additional $1,000, but why pay for something when you can get it for free? As an exclusive deal to you by signing up before the end of this kickoff promotion at Genius Webinars, this is the only time I can guarantee that we'll make this bonus available to you for free. So not only will the price go up, but there's less stuff you get as part of the package in the future. So that's scarcity 2 ways. And then on availability. For Genius Webinars, I could say something along the lines of, since this is an in-person training at Joe's office, and Joe has a limited number of spots that we can put in his office, this is a first-come, first-served basis. So if you don't act right away, you don't get the ability to act at all. And that's scarcity 3 ways. 3-way scarcity is powerful. Nothing will motivate somebody to take action more so than penalty for not taking action. Timeout. Whew. Breathe. Joe got me into yoga, by the way, and now I became an instructor. Here's my 3 children, Abby, Lady, and Max. Max kind of beats to a different drum there. Relax, though. Breathe in. Breathe out. And you realize this. Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay? I've just given you a fire hose worth of material. I've sprayed it all over you and asked you to sip from it. Because I would rather err on the side of giving you too much as opposed to giving you too little today. But realize this isn't going to be something that you're going to immediately be able to go out there and do right away and do extremely well. But even if you barely do it, even just a little bit of what we talked about, you're going to be better off as a result. See, in the short time today, I've condensed, crammed, packed, and squeezed together as tightly as possible a whole process for webinar domination to you. The reality is, even if you use just a tiny fraction of all we cover today, don't you feel like you've taken a gigantic leap forward in all of your marketing, not just on webinars, right? Now, I don't know what you knew about webinars coming into the call today, but it'd be a safe bet that some or all of what we covered today was new and valuable to you. Stuff such as the $100 million webinar framework, right? How to create buyers in the introduction, more buyers in the introduction than most people do in their pitch. I gave you that content formula. Remember that? Defined outcomes, step-by-step breakdown, visual roadmap for each step, et cetera, et cetera. This content formula is so powerful, you'll use it in all areas of your business, not just for webinars. I gave you my killer close routine that you can easily drop into any webinar to bring in more money than you deserve, or any of us deserve for that matter. I gave you the value building process with the defined outcome, the step-by-step, the contents, the vision, the strategy, and the commitment. I gave you content best practices, such as what emotional state is your content creating. I gave you the transition formula, the 60-second recap, the yes momentum, the 2 choices. I shared with you a magic trick that the first time I did it 1.4 million, and then I did it 6 days ago, and it did 2.6+ million. All that and much, 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 much more in our 1 hour and 17 minutes together so far in this webinar today. And the question to you is, has our time on the webinar today been well spent thus far? And do you feel more confident with using webinars than you were before the webinar started? And can you see how even just 1 or 2 things that I showed you today can help you in your business regardless of whether you use it in webinars or you use it somewhere else? And are you excited to make a go out of this, to see what wonderful things it opens up for you in your life? And that's why with great pleasure that I introduced to you Genius Webinars. You saw it coming, didn't you? Now you know the formula. See, Genius Webinars is this. I want you to be one of the 70 lucky individuals that can join us in Joe's office October 12th and October 13th, where we can work with you and on your webinar hands-on, where I can unlock the perfect webinar from within you so you can make more in the next 12 months than you have in the last 12 years. Here's how it works. On the morning of October 12th and 13th, starting at 7:30 a.m., they're going to open up the doors to Piranha Marketing headquarters. And you'll show up. You'll find yourself eating a catered and healthy and wonderful breakfast at the Genius Network headquarters there. At 8 o'clock, you're going to hear a chime of a bell, and you'll head upstairs into Joe's office where over the course of these 2 days, you're going to discover the following. What specifically you should be selling on your webinar and the flow from how you introduce it to the content that you provide to the transition you should utilize to the close to create that specific webinar for your specific business, for your specific audience. I will provide scripts and closes to you on the fly right there in the room so we can assemble your $1 million webinar on the spot. And you'll have a grab bag of different tips and tricks and tactics and strategies that I've isolated from thousands of webinars at your fingertips. Not just the one or two things I showed you today that were magic tricks. I got a whole grab bag that's going to be opened up for you and at your disposal. And best of all, we made it turnkey. I'm sure you've realized by now that this isn't just something that I do where I talk at you. This is something where we provide worksheets and checklists and step-by-step implementation guides in a wonderful, beautiful situation so you could have them and utilize them for the rest of your business life. See, with Genius Webinars, this will occur in one of the most wonderful creative environments you can find yourself in because you'll be surrounded by the successful people that Joe attracts, catered in luncheons of the healthiest and tastiest organic foods, plus the help and service of Joe's wonderful staff, whose sole responsibility is to make your experience as best as it can possibly be. Genius Webinars. Companies have paid me millions in royalties for webinars that I've consulted and helped them create. Genius X members who pay $100K a year to Joe actively seek me out and hire me at obscene rates just to share a bit of what I know about webinars. Putting this in front of Joe's audience, here's the deal. I know there's a long line of savvy entrepreneurs that we're reaching right now who won't bat an eye if the investment was $20K. To go to Joe's 2-day annual event is a $10,000 investment, and even then, just cutting a check does not get you into the room. You have to qualify. You have to have a certain earnings disclaimer, and they churn away. For every person they accept, they typically churn away 3 to 5 people. Now, Genius Webinars is also a 2-day event. So the same price tag, $10,000, makes sense, just from a supply and demand perspective. That's why on the surface, it might not make sense what the investment is going to be for you to join Genius Webinars. See, to kick this off and to celebrate this first ever of its kind of collaboration between Joe Polish and myself, if you get one of the 70 limited spots available, it's not going to be 10 grand. It's going to be a single investment of $49.95. And you can get started right now at geniusnetwork.com/webinars. And I urge you to hurry up and go over there as quickly as possible. Because when you're one of the lucky 70 that can sign up at geniusnetwork.com/webinars, we're going to be hooking you up in all of the following wonderful ways. First of all, you're going to get this bonus, professional, high-quality, high-definition recordings. Now, if you've ever been to Joe's office, you've seen he's got at least $125,000 worth of recording equipment that's been wired around that room. That's a recent addition, by the way. And we're going to put that to good use, capturing every morsel of every piece of knowledge during this 2-day training. Now, I don't know what we're going to do with these recordings in the future. We might hoard them and keep them exclusive. We might offer them. If so, it would be for major bucks. You get these for free when you sign up at geniusnetwork.com/webinars. That's the first bonus, is the professional high-definition recordings. Bonus number 2, webinar funnels. Every major webinar has the following components: a registration page, a thank you page, the webinar itself, the sign-up page, and the replay page. And I want to show you this because a lot of people forget that the name of the game is making money. It's not just doing good webinars. And so here's a tale of 2 webinars. If 2 webinars sell the same product at $2,500, and they each get 1,000 visitors to a registration page, and one of them converts at a 50% opt-in, and the other only at a 25%. The webinar itself could still sell 1 out of 10 people, but the difference is immediately you get 50 buyers versus 25 buyers. And then if you utilize a replay correctly, you could double it. And so the same webinar with the same 10% conversion to the same 1,000 visitors could be the difference between $62,000 and $250,000. Same exact webinar, completely different result. So bonus number 2 is the ultimate webinar funnel. We're going to give you a fill-in-the-blank plug-and-play templates to drop the perfect webinar funnel into your promotion in seconds. In fact, there are 2 major secret weapons that I use in my funnels that I am not going to disclose here, but you will get them and understand immediately how insanely powerful they are for your business. By the way, I don't have the statistics on hand, but the funnel we used for this webinar, I believe, converted at 78.2% of people who saw the page to sign up, the invitation, and the people who actually signed up. And it's the same exact type of situation I'm going to teach you to do for your webinar funnels. So in addition to the professional high-definition recordings of the 2-day event, plus the ultimate webinar funnel, what else do we got for you? Bonus number 3, when you get started at geniusnetwork.com/webinars, you're also going to get the pre-event profits bonus. Now, see, I realize I'm asking a lot for you to invest today and then have to wait a few months to sink your teeth into the live experience of Genius Webinars. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could set it up so you could start profiting from your webinars before you step foot into Joe's office? So you could have already made back more than your investment before you even show up live. And then that's just freaking free money, right? Well, that's what we have here. So the pre-event profits look like this. We're going to do 2 web-based trainings, which you can attend and or catch the recording. Training number 1, immediate webinar profits. I'm going to show you a simple webinar formula designed to unlock dormant pent-up wealth so it flows right to you right away. This is the 80-20 approach to webinars. I have a formula I can show anybody that in 45 minutes they could put a webinar in place that could easily make them 5 or 6 figures for most audiences. So if you haven't been using webinars yet in your business, I can show you something you can immediately use that's made for a quick hit and run style type of profits. And training number 2 is we're going to dissect the webinar funnel strategy itself. I'm going to go into great detail about why the landing page should look like this, why the thank you page should say this thing, or the registration page should say that thing. All of those, the replay page, how we get double or triple the profits if we're utilizing replays, and when you should or shouldn't utilize replays. In fact, we set up a whole members area for you. And you're going to get all sorts of deliverables in this members area, this Genius Webinars members area, before the event starts and even after the event is completed. We're still going to hook you up with all this goodness in that portal once you sign up at geniusnetwork.com/webinars. So in addition to the professional high-definition recordings, the ultimate webinar funnel, and the pre-event profits, bonus number 4, slide envy. When you do it right, a keynote or a PowerPoint slide will outconvert any other approach on a webinar any day of the week. And so there's a reason why you don't see my face or you don't see Joe's face. There's a reason why we use slides the way that we use slides. There's certain specific things you should be doing and how you should create these things. And I'll show you exactly how to do that in record time. I'll show you the master formula that I use for all of my slide decks and slide templates so you can immediately drop these into your business and design your slides to maximize your selling message from introduction to close. That's a free bonus for you at geniusnetwork.com/webinars. In addition to the professional high-definition recordings, the ultimate webinar funnel, the pre-event profits, slide envy, bonus number 5, webinar swipes. You want to see me in action with my most profitable webinar ever? I've archived my best webinar for you that's generated over $30 million in sales over the last 4 years. These are not available publicly, by the way. There's a whole strategy why our profitable webinars cannot be found publicly. And for the first time ever, I'm going to create the whole sequence for you so you can see it of how we do each and every step of the process. I'm going to give you the emails that we use to invite people to the webinar so you can reference and use them for your webinar promotions, following our time-tested, perfected sequence for promoting a webinar. I'm going to show you webinar order forms and sales pages specifically for that promotion so you can see what I teach in action, in the real world. This is the kind of stuff that people have paid me serious money for because they know they can't find it anywhere else, just to look over my shoulder and copy what I do. And I'm authorizing you, I'm encouraging you to copy any and everything I can do by giving it to you all in one nice tidy package. This will be available for you as well at geniusnetwork.com/webinars. In addition to the swipes, the professional high-definition recordings, the ultimate webinar funnel, the pre-event profits, and slide envy, bonus number 6 is me. I'm a little nervous offering this because I'm not sure if I'm doing you a favor at my own expense here. But hey, take advantage of me because I'm going to allow you to. After you attend the in-person training for Genius Webinars and you complete and run your first webinar, you can reach out to me. Just email us at support@rapidcrush.com and you can schedule a personal 30-minute consultation with me. And during this consultation, my fresh and very expert set of eyes will show you how to maximize your effort and what to focus on and improve so you can take what you have on your webinars and 10x it. And you can use that 30 minutes for whatever you want to talk about, and I'm an open book. I will tell you anything and everything that you wish to. I am at your command for 30 minutes for free. And so we charge $2,500 for a 30-minute session, and we typically don't allow people to even book these anymore because usually I don't have any time to do this, but I'm going to block out my schedule specifically for Genius Webinar attendees to help you help yourself at geniusnetwork.com/webinar. You get all of this, the 2-day training at Genius headquarters, where I will personally walk you from start to finish with all my webinar secrets, helping you implement them specifically in your business. So you say, Jason, I got these things. What should I sell on a webinar? I'll say, sell that. You say, Jason, how should I position it? I'll say, this is how you position it in the introduction. This is how you position it in the content portion. This is how you can set up the pitch, right? I'm going to give you all these bonuses. So everything is going to be available to you. You're going to get the checklist as well, because that's part of everything. You're going to get all the handouts, all the templates, all this stuff. And then when you're done, you get the consultation with me. Only 70 spots at $49.95. geniusnetwork.com/webinars. Here's my guarantee from you to you. Now, I stole this guarantee from Joe, and it goes as following. I want you to sign up and show up. If after the first day you don't feel like you've already gotten 20 times your value back in your investment, so it's $100,000 in real-world value. If you don't feel like you've gotten at least $100,000 in money-making content ideas and instruction, not only would you be cut a check on the spot for $4,995, we'll reimburse all your travel expenses for you up to $2,000, and any material you have at the time you can keep as a parting gift. You are literally risking zero, and you're gaining everything at geniusnetwork.com/webinars. Now, here's a little note. Spots are limited to 70 individuals who are ready to do webinars the most effective, most profit-pulling way imaginable. And registration is on a first-come, first-serve basis. So the quicker you can go to geniusnetwork.com/webinars and get started, the better. Now, here's a full disclosure. I have no plans on doing another in-person Genius webinar training in the future. You could ask Eunice, hey, when's the next one? She'll say, we don't have another one. You could corner Joe and say, no, Joe, seriously, there's got to be another one planned in the future, right? Joe will say, not to my knowledge. I literally do not plan on doing another one in person anytime in the future. So this is the only time I can say with 100% certainty that this opportunity is available to you. So seize it. Now, I'm not going to say we'll never do another one of these in the future, because if I can change the world with my God-given talents and my unique ability to use a Dan Sullivan term, and it works in my schedule, I'll probably do it again in the future. But do you want to really base your business on